We was gonna talk about this last time, but the Andrew Schulz response to Kendrick. So I didn't even know about all the stuff that he said. I didn't know about the stuff he said before, and I didn't know about the stuff that he said after. I saw a clip, but I didn't see the whole thing. Y'all both familiar with what Andrew Schulz said?
I have no idea.
Scum,
Yeah.
you wanna fill people in?
Just to really get it started, Andrew Schultz's response to Kendrick, because Kendrick said, white comedians shouldn't make jokes about black women. Do I think Kendrick was wrong in that? No. I'm with Kendrick on that. Andrew Schulz, I feel like, some people, he got some fans and stuff, but he ain't got enough fans to make me feel like he can make jokes about black women. Me personally, that's just how I feel. So, Kendrick threw it out there. And Andrew Schulz, his response, very weird, fits the demographic. He's like, Kendrick crew, yeah, they could whoop him, beat him up, whatever, hurt him. Hey, he said if they was in the jail cell together, just him and Kendrick, like, he would make love to Kendrick. And to me, I think that is extremely weirdo energy. I don't feel like that's a comedic joke, Maybe that's not my type of humor.
Yeah, I think I found it. My fault. I muted my thing while you was talking. What you mean? What? I muted the thing while you was getting. Let me
finish. Let me finish before you.
You don't want to hear the clip? You get more clarity.
I've seen this. I think.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Now, technically speaking, if we're going off of grammatic English,
okay,
he's saying I can talk about black women, and that is law.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black women.
So he's basically saying all white comedians
are only allowed to
talk about black women
exclusively.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick.
We're back.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a law.
Finally, he understands
it's
it.
a law.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes sense.
Because he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character called Token on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan if he's going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fact.
Al, you're getting groomed right now. We need to ungroom.
Yeah, you're right.
We need to ungroom you right now.
Let's see.
Okay? I mean that Blizzard, because he sent people, he says slide on. What he said, slide, where's the line? Okay. The N-words that coon, the N-words that being groomed, slide on both of them. Whoa, that seems like a call to violence.
It does.
Why would he call to, if he's about protecting black people, why would the call to violence be towards the black dudes, not the white guy making the joke?
Well, you gotta understand.
What?
No. You gotta understand.
Because I snitch. I cooperate. I tell.
Litigation.
Okay? You gonna squabble up in a jail cell.
Here's what you gotta understand about Kendrick. It's very important to him to protect black women. That's why he's never done a song with an abuser confirmed. He's never done a song with anybody that's suspected of abuse. He's never threatened to remove his music from Spotify because they removed R. Kelly's music, who for sure fucked and held captive underage black women. Hold on. This is all very important to Kendrick.
Wait a minute, just let me understand what's going on here, because I think that you're using sarcasm as a comedic device.
It is a comedic device.
But you're so fucking smart right now that I don't know if you're serious or making jokes. Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and rape of R. Kelly? And actually, in reality, he
is this. That's not even the one that I seen. Is that a different one?
That's the original.
Oh, that's the original.
Did you watch the one with Charlamagne?
No, I watched the one where he was like, he gonna do something. If it wasn't like the people that's around Kendrick or whatever, he'll sleep with Kendrick and all that. Like, I seen that part.
That is it.
Oh, that's it, and it just keeps going. Okay, yeah. I ain't gonna listen to the rest of that, but yeah. So that like they're just making. I don't know what they're making partly a joke of it and partly another part of it, but the original part of it wasn't it a TikTok challenge or something that they was talking about, where it was like black women that date white guys, they glow up the white dude, and then he was talking about that, and that's what made Kendrick say, "Don't talk about black women, that's law." Isn't that it, or am I wrong?
I do think that's part of it. I don't know if that was all of it, but I do remember that.
Okay. Well, it was something like that, but he was talking about like black women that date white guys and stuff like that, and then Kendrick said that, and then that's his response to Kendrick saying, "White comedian don't talk about black women as law." That was his response, and he also said, on top of what you just seen, is he will sleep with Kendrick, like pretty much insinuating that he would beat up Kendrick, like if it was nobody else, just Kendrick, him and Kendrick. That's really what he was saying, but he was saying it in a way like, "Oh, if we were in a cell together, I would sleep. Like you couldn't do nothing about it. Like I could do whatever I want with you," and like that's what he was saying. Yeah. Yeah. So what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on this whole situation? Like the Andrew Schulz talking about black women, which he's said a lot about black women in general before. Like, well, he said a lot about, I guess, like hip hop culture, because he's also said, black or like artists have degraded women and stuff like that in like rap songs and stuff, and he's talked about that, and people felt like, oh, it's not your place to talk about those type of things, and he's continued to have that stance over and over and over again, and this is just like an extension of it. So what do you think of this, Brittany? I guess kind of an outsider on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've watched a whole different video from that one.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't see that one either.
Yeah, it was something. What did he say? Uh, I think it was something about if this is the same guy. Let me look it up real quick because I don't want to be telling.
What do you think about it in general? Like just from what you've seen and stuff. Like, what is your thoughts on it?
I don't even know. Is he a comedian?
Yeah, so he's a comedian. He's actually a pretty well known comedian. He as like he in his comedies he gets at different groups. Like he's one of those types of comedians. Like he tries to like pick fun at different groups of people and stuff. I haven't seen all this stuff. I've seen one. One of the ones that was on Netflix I seen.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I have more to say about the first topic we were talking about than this. I don't know him at all.
But what do you think about just like I guess like white people speaking on, and I don't even want to just say like black culture, because black culture is bigger than hip hop, but just like people that aren't in that culture speaking on hip hop culture, because it seems to happen a lot. Or like it'll be a person that uses hip hop culture to get to a certain position, and then kind of like push hip hop culture aside or talk down on it.
I don't know. I feel like it's ignorant, honestly, because and the only reason why I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective, as in like we're gonna use. Do I want to use that as an example? Yeah, I'm gonna use alcohol as an example because that's the only thing I can think of right now. That's like someone. That's like a meth user telling someone that's an alcohol user. How am I trying to explain this? it just doesn't go together. I feel like it's just not his place to talk about stuff like that. He doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it. I don't really know. I don't look at stuff like that. If I see it on my Instagram or Facebook or something, I just click away from it.
Yeah.
So I don't even know.
Yeah, I didn't follow it too much myself. It was kind of more brought to my attention, and like then I seen it, but like I didn't know much about it. Mr. Smith, man, what you got to say about it? What's your thoughts? I'm sure you got some thoughts on I'm sure you got some thoughts on this.
Well, boy, you know, stuff like this really grinds my gears, let me tell you.
Put some oil in it now.
Because, like he said, you know, black culture is really deeper than just hip hop. You know, hip hop has its own culture. Like, so when we get these people who don't truly understand the culture, that's what it really is. They might see it, but try to emulate it. You know, hip hop is very popular worldwide, so I mean, it's hard to ignore. You can't ignore it. Anywhere you go, anywhere you look, hip hop is on the scene. It's a trendsetter. So, you know, these people who just come infatuated it feels like, you know, maybe, what's a good way to put it? They just feel like they're obligated enough and credible enough to speak on it, you know? Prime example, you know, he brings up R. Kelly. Like, the world loved R. Kelly. Like, those allegations that got him locked up a few years ago, them shits were not new. Those shits were around for a very long time. So, you know, it's hypocritical you bring up R. Kelly in that situation because the world had accepted it. And it's not just black people who accepted it, I promise you. The world loved R. Kelly. The world loved R. Kelly. So then we get this guy, he come in, you know, he cracking jokes, making jokes and stuff, speaking on things he don't understand. He really is proving the point of what Kendrick is really saying. You know, like, this is why we don't want him speaking on it. Now he's up here, he's trolling and stuff, you know. Now it's, oh, I'm snitching, you know, we could squabble in the jail, like, you know, because now he's really trolling more than just hip hop culture, but black culture. And I feel like that's where you know the jokes. One, I feel like you at least got to make your jokes funny. You feel me? I get the sarcasm and stuff like that, but like, come on, your joke is you gonna rape somebody? Like, that's just not funny to me. I'm sorry. That's not my type of humor. You know, so I get it. I feel like there's a million and one different ways he could have said one-on-one he whooped Kendrick ass, you know. I feel like he could have said it just like that. But he took it that extra mile saying one-on-one. He basically raped the nigga. Like, it's crazy. That's crazy. I just don't understand it. I don't respect it. You know. And I feel like now him, because it's really good attention for him and his platform now, you know, because he's been running on this shit. Like, we heard Kendrick say one line or two. What have we heard from him since? We've been hearing something from Andrew Shulz every day. I know I might not be active on Twitter like that, but I swear to you, Andrew Shulz is active on Twitter like that. So, you know, this is a steady topic he's using to uplift, you know, just like y'all were saying, people use hip hop, you know, to grow their platform and stuff, and then when they get to where they want to be, they push it off.
Yeah. And to close this out, my thing with it is more so the bigger picture is our willingness to allow one, I guess part of it is like things affect us. Like Nipsey Hussle said it before he died. Like when 6ix9ine was doing all that stuff, he was like, just put him on dummy time. Ignore it, don't entertain it, and watch what will happen. And now 6ix9ine went to jail and a whole bunch of other stuff happened, but you stop paying attention to it, look what happens. Now Andrew Schulz is different because hip hop and that's not even really his audience anyway. But we gotta stop giving life to certain things, and we have to get control of what can even get in that space. You feel me? Like if we really want to have even as far as like Kendrick still works with some of these companies that allow some of the Will Smith to come in. It's like now he does a lot more work than some of these other artists and stuff, but it's like if we really, really, really serious about some of this stuff, bro, we gotta detach ourselves from all of these people that don't have the best interest of heart of whatever your movement is, and figure something else out. Cause it's not enough resources and people that have been in the business and money to go and do it yourself. Shoot, Kanye crazy, but Kanye is out here moving on his own accord now. Now you may not agree with what Kanye is doing, but Kanye is independent of everybody. And I don't see him struggling. You feel me? So if these artists is serious and these people in certain positions are serious, all right, really make a move. Make a move and go do your own thing. I was just watching and I gotta find the lady's name. She does videos on YouTube, but it's like scripted content. It's literally like TV shows and mini movies and stuff. And I was watching the interview and they was calling her like the young Tyler Perry, and they were like, yo, you need to create your own streaming service. And like she views herself as her own streaming service. I gotta find the lady's name, but she puts out all her own content. She owns all her own content. She's building a studio in Alabama away from. She literally said, if I was in LA or like one of these bigger known places, it would be a lot easier for me to do my thing. But I want to build where I'm at and build up like that the resources and everything there, so I can help all these people that I'm helping right now. And she was going through like all the stuff that she's done, but she's doing it on her own. Like, so it's like there is no excuse why these massive artists. My favorite artist, J. Cole, he just put out a podcast that's doing crazy numbers, absolutely crazy numbers, about like his journey and stuff. And then he put out, he's doing one show at the end of it or whatever, in Madison Square Garden. But these big art like J. Cole, he could put out an album completely independent, and his fan base will go and get it. Completely independent of any of these labels. I don't know what his label situation is, but he does not have to be signed to anybody to go through it. Kendrick the same way. Even Drake the same way. Like these artists could pave the path for a lot of younger artists coming up to do some of this stuff. Now obviously, you know, the labels and stuff is resource, but they could build the resources. Like J. Cole got Dreamville. He could use his resources to build up young artists, which he does. Like he's got artists signed to it, but they don't need the label necessarily. The label helps because they got connections and stuff like that, but it's not, you could just, it's more work. That's all it is, really. More work that you got to put in to build up the same connections and links that they have. But a lot of people ain't willing to put in that work. You know what I mean? And I think that's a bigger conversation that needs to be had than necessarily about Andrew Schulz and his antics and stuff.
But I like how you said that too about not giving it power. Because like I said, I don't even watch it. I literally will just scroll right past it because it's just ignorant. Why would you entertain ignorance?
Yeah.
It's just going to give it more power than what it is.
Exactly. But every black media outlet, like major media outlet, has it up there and pushing it to the audience that don't need to be putting it on Dummy Top. Like the shade, I'm sure it was on the Shade Room. None of those people is Andrew Schultz's audience, so now you're giving Andrew Schultz even more audience than what he was going to get anyway.
Yep.
Which is going to make Andrew Schultz more money and give him more power to now, boom, you feel me? Now he's even bigger than, like, Kendrick didn't put his name in it for a reason. You feel me? Kendrick is more well known than Andrew Schultz. Now you're putting Kendrick and Andrew Schultz in the same conversation. That shouldn't be happening. Kendrick Lamar is about to do the Super Bowl. So right before he does the Super Bowl, just came off a #1 album, you're going to put Andrew Schultz in his so he can ride that wave up into the Super Bowl. Like, what? What are we doing? And that's the conversation that we got to have. We got to stop giving these people even the space, letting them in our space. You feel me?
Yep. I agree, for sure.
Yeah, so I think that's the bigger conversation that needs to be had.